Hey guys, welcome back to my final build update for my explosive shot shock burst round Deadeye. This video took a while because I was trying to self farm the citadels instead of buying the fragments off trade, but lo and behold, locating the citadels has been a pain in the ass. Anyway, this build has been cruising through endgame and I reinvested most of my currency back into the build as well as progressing my atlas. But at this point, I'm safe to say the build is pretty much complete for what it does, which is mapping and breach. What you're seeing here is a T15 Deadeye breach, and as a note, I have about 140% rarity on my gear, which is quite achievable, I would say. And on average, I drop about a divine every 5 maps or so, and a bunch of exalts as well. The single target for this build, I would say, is about an 8 out of 10. The build clears regular map bosses with no issues. So here, this is a +2 map boss. You basically just shoot an explosive shot and then just shock burst rounds till it dies. However, as you get up to the pinnacle bosses like the +3 and +4 Zesh breach boss, it becomes less trivial and you have to start kiting and actually caring about the fight mechanics. I'll show you a clip of it in a second here. It's definitely still respectable damage given that we're built to map and not so much for bossing. And if you also haven't already noticed, I spec'd into Grimfeast. I really wanted to avoid going this route, but unless you have a ton of currency to afford a Allros Flask, which is I think 30 divines right now, and also stack evasion with a Queen of the Forest, you're not going to survive the endgame maps with 2000 life and just evasion. Until this gets fixed in the next patch, I'm going to stack ES just like everyone else. And then here is the Arbiter, just the regular Arbiter fight. As you can see, we deal pretty good damage. So I'll go over the gear upgrades I've done so far, as well as highlight some of the important upgrades that significantly increase my damage in a moment here. And at the end of the video, I'll also showcase a map. So stay tuned. Alright, so I'm going to go over the build really quick, starting with my gear. The main upgrades that I did were upgrading my rings to breach rings with physical damage to attacks with quality on them. These will significantly increase your DPS. If you have a chance or you haven't done so already, I would highly recommend doing this because the flat damage from here applies to your weapons and they double dip on both your explosive shot and your shock burst rounds. So definitely get yourself these type of rings if possible. Rarity on all amulet, my rings, glove, and boots. And I also got a new belt with a +1 charm just to be freeze immune and stun immune. This helps with survivability quite a bit. And got a corrupted 3 dragons to cap my res. This is what my resistances look like. And evasion right now is about 87 or 86. Without acrobatics. And then in my previous video I went over speccing into Grimfeast, which is getting all this here, and one of the other changes I made was I dropped this jewel socket to grab this node right here. This actually gives you a 50% increased damage because int is our lowest attribute here, so over 50% increased damage. It's huge. So for now, I'm going to grab this, and then when I level up, I'm going to fill out this jewel socket right here. But this is what the tree looks like. You can pause the video if you want to look into it. And then gems, same thing. I 6-linked my shock burst rounds with fresh clip. Everything else is the same. I did find a level 19 spirit gem, so I upgraded my Herald of Thunder, and I also 5-linked my Herald of Ice and added Ali Focus onto it, and nothing on Grim Feast. Alright, so we're gonna run a breach map here. We're gonna do a Savannah, let's see, here, with a boss as well, a +1 boss, and we'll see how that goes. So the build excels in mapping and breach, as I mentioned. That's what it does well. You just shoot into a pack, you run, and everything just dies. Now you do have to, it's an active playstyle where you have to avoid hits if possible. We're not trying to tank or take any damage at all. So if we do take damage, hopefully we evade it. If we don't evade it, hopefully our Wind Ward will help negate the damage. And if you keep just standing there and taking damage, you'll probably just die. But as you can see, the explosions are really satisfying. And for the rares as well, we usually just 2-3 shots and they're dead. Alright, so we got our breach here. My game does lag a little when I open a breach just because of the clutter on the screen. So hopefully this gets fixed in the next patch as well. Yep, so as you can see, it's really satisfying. You run around, you shoot an arrow, everything explodes. And Grim Feast just makes you a lot tankier, so you're able to, if you do get hit, you're able to tank it and then just refill back up. Yeah, and you want to try to avoid those lightning on death effects as much as possible. They do hit pretty hard. Alright, we're going to run to the boss right now just to showcase what that looks like. And usually I try to avoid looting until I complete the entire breach, just because, like I said, we do not want to be taking any damage. So you want to just kill everything on the screen as fast as possible and move on to the next pack. Like, see those fire AoE explosions? You definitely want to avoid that if possible. Oh, so we have a Divine Shrine. We're not going to take that. That's cheating, so we're going to leave that for now. Alright, so for bosses, again, we just shoot them a few times. We see the shock icon. And then we just go to town with shock burst rounds. So we see the shock icon there, we just shoot them. And then we do emergency reload. They usually get stunned, we keep shooting. If the shock is down, we shoot them again and you unload shock burst rounds, and that's it. Pretty straightforward playstyle. Single target is not an issue when it comes to map bosses. So, yep, hopefully this video helps you out, or if you're interested in playing this build, I'll link Palstron's build guide below. I follow his build mostly, and yeah, I might make a new character next, and I'll post a video about it soon. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good one. Bye.